Straight teeth in that mother. That look good. Yeah.
Okay, I like that word.
I'm ready. Everything ready for everything ready. I'm not giving me an A-roll. I'm about to tell you.
Yeah, let me tell everybody. We keep it low for the people who can still gonna be out there.
Green here. Yeah. Freezing cold in here.
If you want to, you go ahead and sit down, take a seat.
Or did you do that little test?
Yes.
Well, I still got it on. Oh, yes.
I took mine off. I take mine off.
Which crown?
Where? I thought it was be. She did a little zoom, she pulled me forward and then side to side. I was like,
I get to move. I'm like, damn, I'm so small.
I was like, you know what?
I know it's hard. I don't like that.
Yeah.
We about to start that. We about to start. We already told it multiple times. Right. All right, guys. So we'll get started in a second. Waiting for our producers to get back in here, and we'll, get started with the business panel discussion. Thank you for everybody being here. All right.
Test.
Yes. Okay, how's everybody feeling today?
Great.
Good. Okay, thank you everybody for coming. So, we're gonna get started soon. Usually waiting for Easy. Tell Easy come in. Easy. All right. Ready, sir?
Yep.
All right. How you guys doing? Come on in. Take a seat. All right, Easy, on your countdown, and we'll get started. You recording me? You recording me? Okay.
I don't want to act like AI.
All right. We're just waiting for the cameras and stuff to get ready. With our amazing production team who's been holding it down the entire day. Shout out to them. Yes, come on in, take a seat, take a seat. Yes, we're going to get started soon, everybody. For our live viewers, we are here at the Hilton Hotel in Washington, D.C. Hosted by the WGG Accounting and Bookkeeping Services. Production by Easy Film Production / directed by Ford. All right, guys. We good to go?
Yep.
Okay. Before we start the show, we're going to do a quick prayer to make sure we're all good. Thank you, God, for all of us being here today, for allowing us to continue to be great, know these great people to come together and network, and hope everyone make it home safely and be blessed. Jesus, we pray, amen. All right, guys. Welcome to the DMV Networking Event Part 3. Now, this is live for the ones at home. This is not pre-recorded. We're doing this right now. I'm here, Arthur Wills, host of the DMV Networking Event. I have my partner here, Mr. Brandon Ford and Mr. Marvin Autry. I'll let them introduce themselves, but before we do that, I want to thank you everybody for tuning in today and enjoy the show.
Cool. How's everybody doing today?
Yeah.
All right, cool. And quick introduction. My name is Brandon Key Ford II. Born in DC, raised in Prince George's County, Maryland. Graduated from Bowie High School, attended Towson University. Anybody went to Towson here? No one? Okay, cool. I expect that. Anyway, got into the financial industry, I want to say junior year of college, and was studying sports management. So I wanted to be like a sports agent, sports analyst, and got different plans in my life, right? And so a year and a half later, graduated college, had a choice to go to ESPN, Disney that route, or do this business full time. And rolled the dice for myself, went in here full time. A year later, I earned my first 6 figures, and I used my college degree just to learn how to serve people and expand a team. And so over the past 4 years, God's blessed us in many different ways, to expand and grow from the DMV, the East Coast to the West Coast, and really get a chance to ask myself, how can you solve a new problem each day? And so much things to know about money and finances. But would y'all agree? How do you think America's doing like financially today? May not be the best, right? And so if you get a chance to ask a certain question or be able to add value to someone, even if it's a quick conversation, that's a good day for me. So that's a little about my background and everything.
Appreciate you. My name is Marvin Autry. Is the mic on? Everybody can hear me? No?
Yeah.
We're good? All right, cool. My name is Marvin Autry. Graduated from, I'm gonna do this a little different, Frostburg State. Anybody graduated from Frostburg State? Can I get some hands in here? Oh, okay. Yeah. Graduated from Frostburg State. Started my career in human resources at Howard University. And I found myself kind of loving what I'm doing and branching off and kind of doing my business on my own. Kind of like you said, I rolled the dice on myself, but mine was a little differently. Fashion and merchandising. Started my own clothing brand in 2021, and through hard work, good connections, and good people, I've hit many different levels. Very satisfied, very, very humble, very modest, like I said earlier, but got a long way to go before I'm, gonna quit my 9 to 5 and take it a whole new route. But small story about me before we get started.
Thank you. Two great intros, guys. I want to say that you two individuals are very well spoken. You guys are very intelligent, and I can't wait for everyone to learn about what you guys do in your industry. But other than that, let's get into it. So the first topic I want to talk about is motivation. As an entrepreneur, as a business owner, motivation is the key source to making things run. So I want to talk about you guys' motivation and what keeps you guys going every day.
That's a good question. I think this on. Yeah, I think the biggest thing about motivation is I like to look at motivation as think of inspiration. So like whether it's a person, whether it's a thought, whether it's an idea, And sometimes we wake up, doing the same things over and over and over again. But we realize we have a bigger purpose and calling in our lives, right? And so when you know your purpose, when you know your calling, it almost not like it'd be motivated. You're already inspired to wake up and do what's unnecessary. Because if you raise your hand, you always feel like going to work, like always feel like going to work. None of us probably always feel like 100%, right? And so I think that inspiration will allow you to do the things even when you don't feel like doing it, especially being an entrepreneur. It's a lot of long days, early mornings, late nights, and when you can overcome those things, you achieve a different mindset of it's not motivation anymore, it's more inspiration. But just as far as yourself, ask yourself what's your personal why? Is it maybe your personal being? Maybe it's someone else. Maybe you want to type your parents. Maybe you want to do something even that's like spectacular no one's ever done in your bloodline, right? So once you find out kind of what drives you, that's you're gonna know the motivation.
Thank you.
I'm gonna piggyback off that a little bit, but I'm gonna add my own spin and say competition is big for me. Yeah, inspiration is another thing when it comes to fashion and merchandise, but I'm very competitive, even outside of business. But seeing my close friends, even family, doing well, hitting goals, making these fiscal year marks, and I'm like, I can do this, and I know I can do this at a high rate. So if everybody's doing well or everybody's doing what they say they're going to do, I'm gonna create this list and I'm gonna check everything off just like everybody else. Just me being just competitive at the end of the day. I know I can do it. If you can do it, I can do it.
You're right. You're right. I look at it more of the people around you. If the people around you are pushing you to be better, then you'll be better. If the people around you are motivating you to be better, then you'll be better. So you definitely want to make sure that your surroundings are good, making sure that the environment that you set up around you is good, like clean workstation, making sure a clean car, making sure wherever you're going, it's a controlled environment. Those type of things really, go into how you're going to go about your business day. So thank you, guys. So the first topic we want to talk about next is AI. So we want to talk about how AI is helping us on a day-to-day basis. AI for me is helping me with utilizing, emails, utilizing procedures, standard operations, things like that, which makes it easier for me to perform the same service. Oftentimes, people may do a service for one person, it may be different for the next person. But if you're able to produce a standard procedures using this AI, then that can really help you moving forward. I want to ask you guys, how are you guys able to use AI on your day-to-days and how it's helped you progress your business as well?
Yeah, I think AI can be really used for a lot of different things and ways that even I'm not using yet. Like it's literally now to the point where someone can sound just like me, just my voice, and book an appointment with the client. Or there was emails or mass messages or funnels. And so it's crazy to see kind of where the world was today. Think about like 15 years ago, we imagined like this happening today. And maybe not, but things are always innovative. So for me, I believe AI is used for even like, how people may have assistants or just different coordinators. And honestly, AI can be a resource to where you can use AI and necessarily have the assistant on the side as well too, to really operate the AI. Does that make sense? So maybe like a CRM or a funnel, and having someone do that, the AI can take care of a lot of the, the everyday things that we may not feel like doing all the time, make life a little easier.
No, you're right.
For me, I'm very hands-on. I can't say I use AI for too much, maybe marketing. I use it for to respond to a series of emails. If someone is a disgruntled client, I gotta use the best verbiage in order for them to still be satisfied. But me, I'm very hands-on. I'm gonna wake up, lace my boots up, and I'm gonna solve the problem. Put the videos out, make sure all my boxes are checked. I don't really use AI too much, but like you said, it's useful. A lot of people can turn it over to make money, but I also feel like AI can lose you money as well. In my industry, in fashion and merchandise, people want to like talk to you. They want to see you smile. They want to touch your product. They want to try it on. So like me, kind of using AI where you don't see a real person in my clothes or the clothes that you want to buy, it doesn't feel personal to you anymore. So I think it's a little different to use AI in fashion.
I understand. Those two good points. I also want to touch on like sourcing. When we're looking at AI for sourcing, you got to look at where the source is coming from. A lot of time you may ask AI a question and it gives you a whole 10 pages of what your answer is, but you need to click on the link. We need to be able to figure out where was this article written, who wrote the article, and who published it. And oftentimes these sources may not be credible. So just being, self-aware and taking the extra step to see where your information is coming from. whether it be from a book, an actual author. These things are important. Moving on, I want to talk about the rise of solo entrepreneurship. So it's a lot of people out here who are starting their own business, doing stuff on their own. They are the only person on their team, and I want to talk about the struggles of that and how that affects you on a day-to-day. For me, it seems as though that without a team, it's like the belief of it isn't there. When you have that team behind you, it kind of pushes you to build something even bigger. You can offer more opportunities for yourself. You can give people benefits, whether it be dental, whether it be like a 401k. If you only provide it for yourself, there's like, what opportunity are you providing for the world? So I want to open up the conversation for solo entrepreneurship and how the rise of that has increased over the past year.
Yeah, I think when you get into business for yourself, this is happening to me in person. When I first got started, and you ask friends and family to support you, check out what you're doing, and a lot of times they may not be the most supportive, right? So me, when I got into the financial industry, my nickname is BJ. So they didn't know Brandon Ford as the financial professional or the person that wanted to build a massive business or help a lot of clients out. They knew me as maybe their nephew, their grandson, or their son, right? So I think getting into solo entrepreneurship, it can be a dark path. It can be a very dark path. And, there's a lot of ups and downs in any business. And one thing you have to realize is, the man above gave you a vision, and it may not be other people close to around you, your vision, right? And if we just kept doing what other people around us were doing, we'll have the same results as well, too. So anytime you're trying to step outside that box or do something different, you're always going to get maybe doubts, maybe concerns, but just know if no one was ever down to you, you're probably in the wrong spot anyway. And so the fact that you are receiving those things, there's a pile of gold on the other side of the rainbow. A lot of people, I think, quit too early to see that pile of gold. And it's really a blessing when you get a chance to see, what a lot of the billionaires and CEOs are doing now. They're actually creating more jobs for more people. And a lot of times, if we want to settle for benefits, we may be denying our blessing of helping someone else, and someone else is, dreaming X, Y, Z.
It's good. It's good.
I'm gonna try and stay in my fashion merchandise lane when I answer some of this, but the business aspect is really good. But to answer your question, Artie, in the past year, you do see a lot of people on social media coming out and just kind of jumping out there to start a brand because they feel like everyone else is doing it. They see a lot of people your followers went up by 10,000 because you started this clothing business, but they don't know those followers were bought. That's not authentic. People see like, you started a brand and in 6 months what you put out sold out, but they don't know their family bought that, or like their close friends bought that. Like they had a rich people behind them to put this out and to like sustain it. Solo entrepreneurship has kind of taken like you said, this dark path because people think I can wake up and kind of get rich quick. And that's not how it works. Like I said, I started this brand in 2021, and I promise you there are many days where I will look at my close friend and say like, I don't know if I got this anymore. I'm unsatisfied. I'm looking at some of the competition. I'm down on myself. I'm looking at some of the things I designed and say, I don't think people gonna like that. It's a lot. It's a lot when it comes to kind of doing it by yourself. But I would never say I did this by myself. I've had many people in this room inspire me or come to me on the side and they say, like, Mark, we love all this. Like, you might not hear us say it, but we would wear your stuff over some of these other products that people are paying $250 for. So like hearing things like that and just hearing not only the community that you've grown up with, but people that you meet along the way that you don't even know that will tell you, hey, you might be doing this by yourself, but once you reach these checkpoints, we'll give you that reassurance to keep going.
So would you guys encourage people to get into entrepreneurship?
Yeah, absolutely. The feeling that you receive, like I said, from making your first sale ever, like I can't compare that too much else. Or that first feeling you get where you walk in a room or you have an event like this and people walk up to your table and buy multiple items, spending $200, $300, $400 at one time with you. That feeling that you get that I did this, put this together myself is second to not too many.
No, literally, you're so used to, applying for a job and having to, do what they say to make a dollar. And you can make a dollar from your own capabilities. It does feel very reassuring.
Yeah, I think the idea of turning nothing into something is powerful, like you were saying. And you realize when you start by yourself and then you look back, the long nights or the early mornings it does pay off, and it eventually does, right? But you have to kind of see it. So I always suggest people get into it just to try it, because you always know what life looks like today as it is if you keep on the same track. But you never know what life could look like if you do that one try, or try that one business, or do that one new venture, or the idea you have in your mind that you're scared to do. You probably should do it. You probably should, just because you never know what you're supposed to have in your life unless you always go. You only live one life. So why not try the new things? Why not try the new business or different ideas?
That was awesome. Thank you, Brandon. All right, let's shift a little bit. I want to talk about how a lot of people are doing a lot of ads. A lot of you want to sell a lot of products online, things like that. But let's talk about the human interaction. How important it is to be into the communities and actually see the people that you're making money with, rather than just pay for an ad.
Yeah, I think human to human action is 10 times more credible than like any AI or any Zoom call. And in my business, right, we don't knock on doors, we don't buy leads, anything like that. Everything's more natural market referral based. So we train a lot of our agents to go out in the field, meet people, network, get a chance to build relationships, not just looking for a sale, but actually get to know someone, know someone's needs. In my business, I don't like to sell anything to someone that doesn't need or doesn't want what I do. Right. And so I think when you ask certain questions to people and really identify someone's need, it comes off more as gender, actually caring about someone rather than, hey, I'm just trying to get a quick sale. And so, like I said, just the ad space, it does work for different businesses and industries. But we do a lot of training on in person and networking and get a chance to build real bonds, because money can't buy that.
You're right.
I'll piggyback on that as well when it comes to an event like we're here now, the networking event, where if I have a table and someone has come to my table and they're just looking around, browsing, I have to turn into a salesperson sometimes. I have to sit here and have this conversation on how my pieces would fit you on your regular day-to-day, and you're going to want to wear this outside of this event. So I can't just sit here and kind of thumb through my phone while people are browsing my merchandise. Sometimes I have to sit here and talk to you and make you smile and make you feel good enough to want to buy the shirt that I have on my back sometimes. So I think for me, that personalization of business is very important, which is why I said earlier, I kind of sometimes steer away from AI because I want you to know me and my brand, that we're coincide. Like, you don't have to worry about, oh, you're gonna send me a DM or an email and you don't know who's responding. No, you're gonna talk to me. It's coming from me. So I think that personalization is super duper important, and it's kind of like slept on a little bit.
Yeah, it's so refreshing to be a part of something. Like if someone had to sell me a hat or a t-shirt, it's like, that's it. But it's very refreshing. They're like, no, come to this brunch with all the clients that I have. Let's have a sit down and talk about how we can brainstorm for something else. What ideas do you like about my brand that I can change? Like, 'cause sometimes it's good that you get the feedback from the people that you're actually receiving income from. So I definitely like that a lot. Oftentimes with clients that I have, I tell them that you're part of my community. You're not my client. You're part of the community now. A lot of people that's here today is part of my community. They're not my clients. And that's what's going to build for other events. They're going to take the knowledge that they receive here and go to another event. They're going to collab with someone else. And that's the type of camaraderie you need in every community, honestly. It doesn't have to be so much business. It could be, just in kids. It could be education. A lot of areas need community, because that's how things grow. It's not just about the sale. So I like that. Just going to keep it flowing, guys. Got some topics here. I want to talk about hybrid work schedule. So a lot of people, go in the office every day. A lot of people just like going to an office every day. Talk about the strategies or how it's helpful going in the office rather than not going to the office, or what they would say traditional versus non-traditional work schedules.
Yeah, I think when you are actually in the office and actually working inside the office, you probably notice you get a lot more done than at home. And it's not because you're a better person versus at work or home, it's more psychological. And you should probably allow your home to be your peace. Once you're at work, there's a lot of ups and maybe a lot of downs. maybe arguments, maybe a client that's, spoke to you bad, or maybe your mentor or your boss may have talked to you the wrong way, but when you're home, it's your peace. All right. So I think everyone, whether you're an entrepreneur, business owner, whether you're a salesperson, whether you're working a 9-to-5 job, everyone should have their own peace at home. Right. And so do I do hybrid? Of course, 100%. And nothing's ever like, hey, I'm at the office Monday through Sunday. It's never like that at all. But I'm a good balance of, hey, making sure you have time for your commitments at the office, but also be present when your feet are. A lot of us in the room maybe have kids, maybe responsibilities at home. And if we take our work home, that's less time for the responsibilities we do have, like our kids and family at home.
Do you have the same production that you have in the office than when you're not in the office?
I'll answer that question first. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I won't lie at all. If I'm home, I'm distracted by something. And it's of course it's stuff that at home that's not in the office. My show could be on. I could want something to eat. Now I'm cooking, cleaning, washing dishes. Like it turns into work is secondary now. Like I'm not even on the clock right now. So I work a hybrid schedule, and I promise 10 times out of 10, I'm getting majority of my work done on Monday, Wednesday, Friday when I'm in the office. So no, but don't get me wrong, I do appreciate the hybrid schedule. I need a break sometimes. Working in HR, I'm constantly putting fires out. People are knocking on my door, calling my phone, emails are constant. So being able to not wake up at 6:30 in the morning on a Tuesday and I could roll over at 8:45, log on, maybe get a couple 20 minutes of extra sleep. It's a refreshment. So I think hybrid is important. I get a little bit of a break. But I do think, I have to be in the office a little bit.
Would you guys encourage a longer work day if you're at home? So, like you guys say, you may start a little later, maybe a slower start, but will you work longer? What do you guys encourage to work longer? Let's we're trying to help the next person. So would you guys encourage a longer work day? Like, for instance, you say you will usually work at 7. Say if you started your work day at 10, would that mean you would end your work day at 7 p.m.?
I'm just gonna say no. I don't want to work a longer hour. But I do see the point of saying, okay, for me to beat rush hour traffic, if I'm in the office, I gotta leave by 4 o'clock. And I know when I get home, I'm probably not gonna open my laptop. But if I'm home, you can get a response email from me. You can call me on Teams around at the end of the day at 5 or 5:30. I'm probably gonna answer because I'm sitting right here. So can we promote a longer work day and starting at 10? No, I don't think that would necessarily help, because even if I know I gotta wake up at 10 o'clock to go to work, the night before I might stay up to 2 o'clock in the morning. So it's circumstantial, but I would say no.
Understand. I like the aspect of being able to control the time frame of when my employees are working. So if they're going to be working from home, instead of giving you 8 hours to get something done, if I know it only takes 2 hours, how about you only work 2 hours today? Let's switch it up a little bit, because oftentimes we give these people too much time to handle tasks that don't take that much time. So instead, you just say, all right, how about you just work from 12 to 3? And that's the time frame you need to get it done, and that's the time frame it has to get done. Instead of me giving you the whole day where I may expecting you to get it done earlier or may not be expecting, and things don't get done. So I just encourage people to kind of set time blocks for when you want something done, instead of giving people too much time to do it.
So do you pay that person for 3 hours, or do you pay them for the whole day?
I pay them for 3 hours. Yeah, and that way I'm actually making money from the time that they're working. So if I am asking them to make calls from, let's say 12 to 3, that means that whatever appointments they make is going to result in profit for the business. If they are scheduled to make calls for the whole day and they ain't making calls every hour, it's going to be able to tell, because when you was making calls for 3 hours, I had 3 appointments. But when you was making calls for 8 hours, why do I still only have 3 appointments?
So do you believe, I know I'm not supposed to be asking questions back and forth, but do you believe in the salary employee rather than the hourly?
I believe in a salary employee. It just has to make sense.
Okay.
It just has to make sense. Since I'm on a smaller scale, I'm thinking on a more micro base. Mm-hmm. But of course, if I was on the level where I can pay someone $100,000, trust and believe the duties will be something that could be within the day-to-day. So I'm not giving someone salary based on what they're gonna do for the year. I'm giving them a salary based on what they're gonna do from the day-to-day, and then that's gonna reflect for the whole year. Talking about salary, what's a good salary nowadays? Let's say an entry-level financial advisor or entry-level fashion designer. What's a good salary? Let's just talk about some numbers. What do you guys think you guys should be paid as an entry level?
Of course, depends on your personal expenses, where you live, what you want in your personal life. I can't answer for myself, but the reason why I can answer for myself is because I'm around a lot of high income earners. And when you're around a certain environment, you kind of want more for yourself, whether it's, you're around maybe people that don't make as much as certain people, then that's kind of like your identity, your mindset. So for me, even at $100,000, right? So it's not necessarily like you're financially free at that point. When maybe the dream, maybe 15, 20 years ago, maybe, hey, go to school, get a job, make six figures, right? And nowadays, usually I saw the price of gas is like $4.03, right? And so, things are always increasing, but a lot of times our income doesn't increase as much as inflation does, or much as prices are in America, right? So what 100,000 was 10 years ago, definitely not $100,000 today, right? So if I had to give you the exact number range, I would say anywhere between 140 to 190 is a decent salary. And even if you make below that, there's nothing wrong with that necessarily. Maybe your expenses match that, area where you're at, right? But I believe based on where America's going, we have to find ways to make more money. We have to.
The cost of living is going up there.
I'm gonna say everything needs to make sense. I know there are many people that their household is much larger than the regular person. So I think walking in the door, I think they have a bigger negotiation when it comes to, okay, you're telling me you want me to work for you, but I'm telling you I have 3 kids and I'm by myself and they all have to go to school and I have to pick them up and drop them off. Now the parameters of, okay, now you don't want to pay me a full day because I can't work as long as Brandon did today. That's not fair. So I think everything has to be put in perspective of how personal it is. Entry level is different because I think I don't really believe in entry level. I think entry level is, again, based on perspective because entry level for someone that has never worked a job before, but they have all of the trades in the world, that's good. They can walk in, they say, yeah, I'm above this entry level job, but they've never had a job in their life and they want to label it entry. So again, I don't even know how to answer what it would mean to give a fashion designer an entry level salary because they don't even get a salary. You get paid off based on your performance. So I don't even know how to answer that. But I do think, again, across the board, no matter if you're working in HR, fashion and merchandise business, tax and accounting, it has to make sense. You can't tell me you need me to work 9 hours a day and you're going to pay me pennies. I don't agree with that.
No, go ahead.
Just even when you're like in a 1099 space, I believe everyone in the room, or just anybody in America, all of us are getting paid based on the value we bring to people, right? So no matter if your income is high, income is low, you ask yourself, how many problems am I solving every day, and how much really value am I bringing? That's why I love performance-based industries and spaces, right? Because the more I work, the more I value the people. That's going to reflect my income. And sometimes people come in my environment expecting to make $50,000 in a month or $100,000 within 12 months, but it's not an employee mindset, right? And so that same mindset that got you to $50,000 won't get you to $250,000. So I believe, when you start to see, hey, how can I add more value? How can I solve more problems and increase my skill set? Number one, like whether it's sales, whether it's marketing, whether it's business, whether it's communication, leadership, problem solving, so many skills to learn. And I feel like when you add more skills to your repertoire, you increase your income.
Very good point. Performance-based, that is so important. Like, you have people where there's a budget, and this budget means, okay, you're going to get paid this program will get paid this, the CEO can get paid this. But again, if you don't meet these benchmarks, you still get paid, and that's going to make your business fail. So I like that aspect. I think a lot of things should be more performance-based, so you can get better results. That also leads into multiple streams in the business. So you have your product, your main product you sell, but how important is it to have multiple streams in that one business? So you have, digital, what's it called? When you have like a video and then you want to sell what you're doing like video based. What is it called? Webinars. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have like webinars, you have the product and things like that. How important is to branch out from just the main product itself to create more streams within the brand?
I always believe I'm against limitations. Even in business, I'm not gonna hold myself within this box. So for me personally, but yes, I put out my own merchandise, but I also allow people to contact me for consulting. Like if they want to say, hey, I'm struggling with this, I don't think people are gonna like this, or I need a manufacturer. Can you put me in this manufacturer that's gonna help me put out the best quality products at this minimal quantity? I also do that. I also allow people to call and place bulk orders directly through me. If you need a jersey or for kids, if you're running a business and your guys are going on a retreat and you need logo printed polos, like I do it all. And I think it's extremely important because that referral can land you in another area that you wouldn't have gone by yourself.
Do you focus on each product every day or not?
It depends on
I'm sorry, each service, excuse me.
It depends on I guess how it comes. So like if I get a phone call and I have to line these up strategically, I'm gonna work on all of this right now and I'll push my own stuff to the back burner. Because I know at the end of the day that's gonna be there. I gotta make sure these clients are happy, completely satisfied from beginning to end. And they know that they're working with me, not AI. That they're gonna get a hands-on experience and they're gonna want to come back and do this again next month, next year, or refer me to somebody else. So that's my perspective.
Okay. Sounds like good customer service as well.
I try.
Oh, I'm gonna definitely tap in with you, sir.
Yeah, we're in a space where even I'm in a business, I have multiple streams of income within one business, right? So from a personal side, I'm an agent. I serve clients from a personal standpoint. But I always say,
What kind of agent? Sorry.
Yeah, I got
For
you.
the viewers, what kind of agent are you?
Yes, we specialize in life insurance and retirement planning, right? And so I make personal income based on my personal clients, but also I think the biggest conversation, whether you're in honestly any space, if you can teach someone to do exactly what you know to do, it's unlimited, right? And so we've had 3 people in my personal organization that made over $100,000 within 12 months, right? All by learning a system, how to scale, how to network, how to meet clients, how to do the same process over and over and over again, right? So I think we have systems, we have what's called duplication. You can be able to have more streams of income within one business. So I always say, hey, you want more streams of income, look to how you can teach someone else to do exactly what you know to do.
It's good. It's good. You got some more?
Oh no.
No problem. All right. That was good, Brian. Thank you. And Marvin as well. I want to talk to you guys about partnerships and how important it is to create partnerships in small businesses and collaborations and how that can help scale and grow your business as well. We can start with Marvin.
I think collaboration is going to get you to the next level with no matter what you do. Majority of the businesses that are here today, if I've known you, we work together in some capacity. It doesn't matter if it's I paid you for a service, or we work together on an event, or we collaborate on an event. I feel as though you bring your people, I bring my people, and it's going to escalate both of us at the same rate. So I believe I can't get to certain places all the time by myself. I'm going to trip and fall along the way. I might need somebody to pick me up and leverage kind of what you got, what I got, and we're going to put it together and we're going to propel to that next room together. No matter if we come back and do it again, we can do it together.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I think you could go very fast alone, but you can go very far together. And when you do collaborate, like Marvin was saying, it's a lot more opportunities. And you know, it's funny, Marvin knows people that I would never meet. But me and Marvin never collaborated. I would never get a chance to meet those individuals and vice versa. So I believe in collaboration when it comes to anything. A lot of times people maybe like to gatekeep or keep things to themselves when the collaboration is what we need. It's like, for example, even from a spiritual standpoint, right? Churches are amongst not one person, but one another being. So even collaboration is tied to the Bible. So think about even our personal business and our personal lives. We have to collaborate. But of course, it has to make sense as well, too. Like someone that's in alignment with, your vision, your goals as well, too. And to make sure it's the right person on set.
Yeah, those are 2 great points. Yeah, collaboration for me, it has, drive my business, to this point today. My collaborations have put me in rooms I've never been in. My collaborations had conversations with people that I never thought they even thought about these type of things. Because you would think that if someone's in an industry that has nothing to do with your industry, then what we got to talk about. But honestly, we all want to make money. We all want to, build more clientele, and we also want to get further in our business. So next person may know something I might not know. I may know something the next person may not know. So just being open to having a conversation and learning from one another has really got me far. All right, so just gonna move on a little bit. How do you guys feel about like funding your business and bringing in people that want to invest? Do you guys open to that? Do you guys encourage those type of conversations? Do you guys even have meetings about stuff like that?
Absolutely. Like, I'm gonna jump out there and say absolutely. It's a little difficult in my realm because then people start trying to ask for pieces. And I don't agree with that.
Percentage of your company?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
People start asking for stuff that's we're gonna stay away from that. But I do think it's very important, even to veer off of the that and say like business credit and aligning yourself with money that's essentially not yours that you can use to leverage yourself takes you to a whole nother level. You're able to use money and kind of cycle money that you don't have to keep using your own cash. You don't have to wait for that sale to go through to step to the next level of that next piece you want to do, or you don't have to wait till next year because you're missing out on money. So scaling yourself, to me, I'm gonna go back and say I don't really want to dive into people trying to talk to me about money, but I'll stay away.
I got you.
Yeah, so we don't really do funding directly as far as like personal investors. I always believe in, like Marvin said, business credit. So you use OPM, other people's money to reinvest back to your business, scale, profit. And a lot of times, at least when I first got started, I would take a lot of profits from the top. And I found that, as I was doing that, my money would deplete very, very fast. So a lot of the funds or even profit I do receive now is not necessarily my money, it's the business money, right? So I'm always reinvesting back into the business. And as far as Marvin said, no one can necessarily say, hey, I'll give you X, Y, Z for a 10% stake. Like I can't entertain those conversations, right? And eventually, the way I think the build is, how can I build to sell one day? How can I be able to scale? So eventually I want to create a system where even if I walk away, it still runs without me, right? I don't necessarily need an investor for that because we have the tools and resources.
Yeah, that was good. I think I'm gonna go back to what Marvin said earlier about it gotta make sense. So like 100% of nothing is nothing. So if someone went to invest in your company and you're not worth anything, and then that investment is not making it, a higher value, then why not give them a percentage? But it has to make sense. So, that's just all for me. Like if I have a value of my business of 100,000 and you're bringing in 50,000, then okay, yeah, you obviously have scaled my business up, but it has to make sense. What is the 50,000 going towards? Is it going towards marketing? Is it going towards a new team? Is it going towards a brick and mortar, which is a location? So it just has to make sense on what the investment is, and then we could talk about percentages. I want to ask you guys, how do you guys feel about like training? Would you guys pay to train someone, or would you rather just have someone that's already trained come in? I know we're in a community of people who are still learning new skills, and we have a lot of young people who need to get into the workforce. So, they need jobs, but we want people who know what they're doing. How do you guys feel about that?
I do think everyone deserves a fair chance at chasing their dreams or doing what they love to do. So I believe in training or developing. I don't know how I could personally train and develop someone to do kind of what I do every day. But I potentially would as I upscale in the brand and the business, of course. Like I said, in my scope of my brand, it's kind of hard for me to delegate other things to other people because I believe you can't do it like me. I'm going to do it the best. I'm going to make sure 100% is done at all times. I'm not going to leave a crumb on the table. I'm not going to leave someone unsatisfied. And I have the realm to say, okay, you can have this free t-shirt, you can have this free merchandise, where everyone isn't going to think like that. Everyone isn't going to say, okay, to make sure you're completely satisfied, I'm going to do everything I can so you come back. So I do agree with training and development. I just think it might be a little hard in my school to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I do that on an everyday basis, honestly. And as few people I'm looking at now that, we train pretty much every day, pretty much. And what I think about most is it requires patience, number one, but it's also, I have a really big heart and care for people. And no matter if someone messes up maybe 5 times, 10 times, or makes the same mistake over and over and over again, is someone gave me opportunity, someone gave me a shot. And now it's my job to do the same thing for someone else. And one thing I learned is, everyone's different. Like, everyone's different personality, everyone's different gifts, and some people take a long time to develop. And what I learned is, if you get to be patient with someone and really get to know someone, and not just be transactional, you can be transformational. You see a lot of success. And one thing I realized is, like I said, everybody's different, everyone's different story, but never stop having a heart for people, and never stop, pouring into people. Like, I'm training people every day that may not give me any profit, or may quit 6 to 12 months from now, right? But I know the man above sees my habits and my intentions, and my heart parts more importantly. I think it's about your heart parts more than anything when you're, training someone or trying to pour in, or even have a mentee and your mentor. I think the heart parts is number one. So.
That's good. That's good. Talk about stepping outside your comfort zone. Oftentimes when things don't feel comfortable to us, we may not do it. But let's talk about when you do push through and how that takes you to the next level. For me, when I want to give up is when the business is about to go great. You know what I'm saying? When I really wanted to say, toss it all up, delete all social medias, I'm about to just go move somewhere. That's when all eyes are on you at that exact moment. So I just want to hear you guys' opinion on how you guys feel about that.
I completely agree with the aspect of your hardest days comes when it's a breakthrough right around the corner. Even outside of business, personal life, you feel like you can't catch a break. You wake up in the morning flat tire. The next day, you get in a car accident. The next day, you get a phone call, your boss saying, "Yeah, you've been late 2 days in a row. I don't think this is working out." You just feel like it's a cycle, but you gotta wake up every day, lace them boots just like you did 3 days ago, because your day is coming. Your day, you work too hard, you wake up too many days in a row to not make it. And for business, you wake up too many days in a row to continuously check these boxes, to making sure people are satisfied, to running your business, to working off 3 hours of sleep, to not wake up one day and get everything you work for. I just don't believe it's not gonna happen for everybody. I believe whatever list you put together, you can say, I want to be president. If you put it on that list and you work on it, I promise you're going to get right there. You're going to get there. It doesn't matter how far the scale is, you can do it. Like, I just personally believe that.
Making me believe.
Yeah, I believe comfort zones really the enemy. Comfort zones the enemy. And so it's a verse in Ephesians. It says the enemy is not flesh and blood, it's the spiritual forces behind that. And so that's just one form. That's one form. And it's crazy because it's like, for example, waking up, you're supposed to wake up at 7, but you want to get an hour more sleep. That's comfort. That's comfort. Or knowing you're supposed to make 5 more phone calls before you leave the office. And you say, well, no one's going to notice, but there is someone watching you. The person that gives you all your blessings watching you. And you're saying, how can you steward certain things to a certain level to be able to receive more? Right? A lot of us, we want increase, we want abundance in our lives, right? But we have to learn to be comfortable doing what's uncomfortable. Even on this panel, I'll be honest, y'all, I'm a very introvert person. I'm not a talkative person. I'm not the loudest person in the crowd, nothing like that at all. But over the last 4 years, I've been very, very uncomfortable. Very, very uncomfortable with being comfortable in that spot. And I put myself in situations where I can either shy away from the moment or excel in the moment. And doing that more times than not, you see, where we're at today. And it's not by accident, about me being uncomfortable so many times, or me doubting myself, or me just having maybe anxiety, or maybe just like not believing in myself. I think the worst thing for a human is to not believe in themselves. At the end of the day, you got yourself, maybe your family, and God as well too, but you really have yourself. And if you don't have belief in yourself, no one else is going to believe in you.
That's true. That's true, man. You got to put a lot of confidence in yourself. You got to push yourself, and you got to come from within. You can't wake up and ask somebody, "Hey, can I do this today?" Can't wake up and be like, "Hey, should I go to work today?" No, you ask yourself. Ask yourself if you want to get up, and then that's how you gonna be able to keep moving forward. I think you guys are great examples of black men, for young black men to look up to. I think you guys should keep on doing what you're doing. You guys are literally like staples in our community, and keep up the good work. I want to leave the room open to some closing remarks. If you guys want to talk to our viewers, let them know how to find you guys, some special words to say, some encouraging things to say before we get out of here. Let you go for it, Marvin.
All right, I'll start by you already. You gave us our flowers, but I wanna give you yours too. It's 2026. It's 2026. I think we've known each other since 2014, 2015. The Artie that we know now is beautiful, bro. Like, it's beautiful, bro. To see what you do, you wake up and say, you're inspired by me, but bro, me seeing you put together your business, run your business from learning to developing to now doing, bro, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate every year we have conversations, all of the services that we do together, we work together, but at the end of the day, man, you're a good guy. So I appreciate you, bro.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
I guess the last thing I could say is I would say never lose the art in what you're doing. Like, I know my man here, he's a sneaker cleaner, right? And so that's art in that. And my man right here, works on the camera and the editing and producing. And so wherever you're at, whether you have a job, whether you're in your business, there's art in everything you're doing. And like Marvin was saying, you may have sacrificed days, months, years, and why give it up for just a negative thought? And it's beautiful, crazy thing about this entire room was made by a thought. Like this table right here, before this existed, it was a thought in someone's mind, and it was a masterpiece. And I believe all of us were the painters of our lives, and we're in front of like a blank canvas, and we can paint the picture we want, right? So you have a chance to paint the picture. You as well, everyone around has a chance to paint the picture. And it's of course not meant to be motivation or anything like that. I just have to be real honest that, hey, you do control your own destiny, no matter how hard things may get or what doubts may come in your mind. Never forget the art you're building for yourself, long term for your family too.
Wow. It's definitely gonna be hard to end after that. But I'll keep it short and sweet for you guys. Be a light. Be a light in any room that you walk in. Be a light in any relationship that you have. Bring that source of peace for yourself. Allow yourself comfort to get through anything you're getting through, because you got to face that battle with yourself before you face that battle with anybody else. So I want to encourage everybody to continue to be great. You guys are amazing. Thank my panelists. You guys are great. And I hope to see you guys at the next event. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you guys for coming out. All right, guys. No problem. So the event's still going on. So y'all still networking, something to eat, refreshments. What do you think? Oh, y'all got questions? Oh, so actually, y'all come talk to y'all. Y'all good. We'll stay and take questions. Yeah, I guess we'll take questions. We can take questions. Go ahead. Sure. Who wants to go first?
Sheba. Okay.
Oh,
You need a mic.
yeah. Y'all give her a mic. Yeah, that's fine. I'm sorry, we got a Q&A, guys.
Thank you all for being a part of this panel. I'm grateful to learn from all your men up here, well spoken. I feel motivated at this point, question to you. You are a fashion designer. I've been doing fashion for the last 5 years. Didn't see myself walking into that lane, but that frequency of just making people feel good and feel adorned, I love it, And our clients, I sit with them, I have great conversations with them, and we just talk for hours. We're trying to close, and I just want to, that's a side note, but what drives you in the design world and fashion? Like, No, it can't be wrong. Because you said when you're speaking of people, you have such a lane of like, yeah, drive about you. You mentioned about multiple products too. I want to touch on that too. What makes you say you need multiple products? Because most people who are, I'm sorry about that, most people say who are great, they focus in on one lane and do it well. And then maybe expand. Would you consider, okay, if you want to be great, focus in and have a niche that people can come to you about? So if you can answer those two questions, where did you start from to get such a drive for fashion? And then why not focus on one product and niche?
My drive doesn't necessarily steer from my love for fashion and merchandise. That's personal. I wake up every day and I'm gonna take care of what I gotta take care of just because that's just who I am. So everything that I love, I'm gonna take very, very serious. So my brand, as we all know, we love our brand no matter what lane we're in. So we all take it very, very serious. So my drive, that's just for the love of the game, to be honest. Your second question, how did I figure out to kind of veer to other lanes to keep going? When you're going at a certain miles per hour and somebody tells you like you can go harder than that. You can keep going. You can do better than that. That's when you kind of go, okay, maybe I'm not doing enough. Like you're doing so well in this lane, you cruising. Like you're not even driving, you got on cruise control. You chilling. That's not how you make it to the next level. You gotta see that and just go. Keep going. No matter if you switch your lanes, you know where the bottom line was. You know where you started. You know you can do that. That was easy for you. So just because you switch lanes and you gotta hit another gear, you're learning. You're getting better. Now you can teach the person how to do what you did in that first lane. Now that you're learning how to drive in those other two lanes. So that's how I kind of scaled it myself.
Does it hurt to stay?
It doesn't.
Doesn't hurt to stay old girl. So I see what you're saying,
No.
but now you're able to teach someone your system because you expanded.
I expanded. And like Brandon said, I'm very comfortable with being uncomfortable when it comes to business. If I don't know something, I don't mind telling somebody I don't know. I don't know, but are you going to teach me? No, then I'm gonna go find out myself.
Yes.
I'm gonna go learn it myself, and I'm gonna make sure when I come back to this room, I can talk about it because I learned it, and I learned it without you teaching me.
Right.
So that's just me.
Brandon, could you piggyback on that question a little bit? In your lane, in your industry, would you say that someone coming to your industry should focus in on their niche or expand to more products? And if you would be a GOAT, if you just focus in on what you do well, or expanding to multiple lanes?
Yeah, I mean, I've always lived by a quote, man of many is a master of none. And when you learn to master your craft, especially in a space where it's produces a lot of results, like we could agree, we could work hard, but sometimes working hard is not the right answer all the time. You have to work hard in the right arena, in the right space. I think about this, I used to work at Domino's, right? And so I was delivering pizza for Domino's. When I was working hard at Domino's, I was capped at a certain income standpoint, and I was getting burnt out. So I was giving this company 10 hours a day, 11 hours a day, using my own car, back and forth to the pizza shop, right? And I would leave the shop maybe with $60, $50 in tips, right? But I noticed here, if I'm giving 10 hours, 11 hours to my own brand, that's much more than the money. It's recognition, it's awareness, it's impact, it's influence, it's purpose in that. Freedom in that, everything, right? And so I think you should master a craft, but know where you're mastering your craft in, and ask, is it going to produce you results long term?
Well, piggybacking, that was a great panel. Like you opened so many avenues for conversations and questions. And my question first goes to you. What's your name?
Marvin.
Okay, Marvin. So Marvin, what's your mind frame around, because you said in the beginning that you weren't initially driven by fashion.
Mm-hmm.
This was like a revenue that you went into. So you also mentioned in like the middle portion of I have what I have and you have what you have. Let's see what that builds. Essentially, paraphrase.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your system or mind frame around that long term?
So you're asking what's my mind frame long term with working with other people, or my long term how I picked up fashion and how I drive through that?
Yeah, so of course you have the fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Certain people are attracted to fashion just for the fashion, but of course, people are attracted to the fashion for the business and the aspect of just launching certain creativity. So I would say from the business owner standpoint of the fashion, what is your long-term vision of, okay, you have what you have, the systems you have, the business, the clientele, versus what another person has, what they have. Maybe they may not have what you have. So what's your approach to that and your conversation long-term?
Long-term is always to, even if I go into a conversation, I try to align with what their vision is as well. So I feel like if I'm coming to this person and kind of trying to scale conversation or business or some sort of alignment, I gotta hear, I gotta see, I gotta feel what they're talking about, and where they want to go. And immediately, if it doesn't align, that's when I have to withdraw. So long term, always it has to align with my mental scope as well. And honestly, it has to align financially. It has to, because I'm not in this business to make no money. So it has to scale for me personally and financially. Long term, like Brandon said, there could be a point where you get long term where you could sell. I don't know if I'm gonna even want to ever do that, no matter how much my brand makes, but that is a point. Everything has to align personally and financially. And never align yourself with something temporarily where like it's not gonna fit within the next year or the next 5 months or whatever the case may be. So don't ever just short term or align yourself with someone short term because they might be at another level than you. I don't ever want to do that. You might have got to this checkpoint before me, but I know I'm going to get there eventually. So I just, everything has to align for me.
Okay. So I had it was a 2-part question. Okay. So you also mentioned a part of what you said in the beginning about like I never had conversations about money, but your business is centered not morally around money, but essentially it's around money.
Yeah.
So with that being said, moving forward, how do you center those conversations so that they understand the value over the cost of what you're doing?
I never go into a room and try to compare my brand financially to another. And when I say that, you have a lot of brands now, no matter where you go, and you go to buy a t-shirt or a hoodie, and it's very expensive, very overly expensive. I have never done that ever. My prices are very reasonable, and sometimes you can even negotiate depending on how I feel that day. Sometimes, so that's kind of like my first thing. I never try to upscale just to try and just get as much out of a customer as possible. If anything, I want you to feel so comfortable. You're gonna like reach out to me and say, "Hey, when's your next drop coming? Because I need more clothes."
Okay.
I want everyone to feel comfortable. Like I said, you're not gonna DM my page or email me, and you're not gonna speak to anyone else. You're coming straight to the source. I want everyone to feel comfortable, passionate, and leave knowing like, oh no, I appreciate Marvin. Like not just my brand, Marvin, the brand owner. I appreciate him. So that's wrong. Thank you.
Question for both of you guys. What would you change about your entrepreneurship journey? Oh, sorry. Question, what would you change about your entrepreneurship journey and what drives you every day?
Yeah, the number one thing I would change, I wish I was more coachable, faster to my mentor. I wish I was more coachable, faster. And he would tell me to do things, but I wanted to do it on Brandon's time, not on when he told me to. And so I think that speed of implementation, if I would have adapted that sooner, I may be farther than I am right now, right? No matter what people may see, so, we always want more. Like, that's human nature. But if there's anything I would change, like early on, I'll be more coachable, faster, and be more naive. Like sometimes we're very logical based on a lot of customers we have in our lives or life experiences, and I would just be more optimistic rather than pessimistic. But what's driving me is really building the next person. Like I think at this point, it's outside of money for myself, and if I can be able to steward someone to be independent where they no longer need me. It's like I'm almost having a kid, but without the legal rights and everything. So if I can help build someone else to success, or build someone to a certain mind frame, or change someone's life, or Darren, or some earnings where it's spiritually, mentally, physically, and financially, that's good enough for me.
The first thing I would change about my entrepreneurship in the beginning, I wish I was way more disciplined. And discipline not in just, oh, I made $1,000, I'm gonna go spend the excess money on myself. It's I wish I was more disciplined in knowing what I was doing was okay. It might be small scale. Yeah, I might have bought when I first started 25 shirts and the next man doing 150. Stay the course. Lace your boots up just like you did yesterday. It's gonna be okay. You'll be all right. He just made that checkpoint before you. You're all right. So I wish I was more disciplined in just staying here. Don't cut the corner to try and make it around that next curve quicker than the next person. Keep doing what you're doing. You're gonna be okay. No matter if it takes 2 weeks or 2 months or 2 years, you're gonna make it. It's gonna be all right. And your second question was,
What drives you every day?
what drives me every day? I want my brand to make it to a point that I never knew existed. I didn't, even jumping into this fashion merchandise, I didn't know that one day I was gonna get a phone call and say, hey, I want you to come talk to people about how you scaled your business. And Artie wasn't the first person to do that. I've had my high school call me and say, hey, we want you to come talk to the kids. And that alone, I was like, did I make it? Like that right there, me being able to scale my brand to a point that I just never knew existed is what drives me.
Strong.
This is, I mean, it could be for you, Marvin, or anyone up there. When you guys were speaking about collaborating, do you feel like sometimes collaborating with someone in the same field can kind of hinder you because that could take away business or a spotlight or shine away from you? Because I'm asking this because, like, I'm a mobile bartender, started a business, and then I had people come for me saying, let's collab, and they're also mobile bartenders. Then I'm like, if we collab, you could also take customers or potential clients away from me because they may think your drinks are better than mine. So how do you guys feel about collaboration, and could it hinder you at the same time?
I'll answer that first. All right. So me, I'll kind of put it in perspective. Just last week, I was a part of a showcase where there are 50 other small businesses all over the East Coast that are in one garage, where we're all doing the same thing, trying to get people to buy our product, pay for our service, whatever the case may be. We want people to notice us and spend their money with us. I can't go in that room worried about, that tent over there look like they got way more money than me, you know what I'm saying? Or that tent is a little more developed than mine, or they got a big screen under their tent and I don't have one. Like, I can't have that mindset. I gotta go in there knowing, okay, they might have a drink that somebody likes, but I might have a shot over here that's buy one get one free. They don't have that. I might have a ninja where I can make a slushie. They don't got that. So I always try to look at something that like I can do a little different or think outside of the box that everybody's not gonna bring to the table. So for me, what I do a little different, when I have these vendor showcases, I don't necessarily sit at my table. I'm in front, I'm gonna talk to you. If you walk past, I'm gonna shake your hand. Everybody's not doing that. So I'm gonna have a personal conversation with you. I'm gonna let you know who I am, showcasing what I'm bringing to you. If you don't want a shot, that's fine. You have a good day. I'll see you around. Here's my business card if you ever think about me again. So for you to take with you, if you're at a party and you see another mobile vendor, you have to think before you get there, what am I gonna bring to win? So you had it.
Thank you. I think it comes to a mindset of abundance. And for me, is even if, for example, I agree with what he said, it's like, hey, if I'm a life insurance agent, right, and someone else in the room is, in my mind, yes, there's enough to eat for all of us, but also in my mind thinking, what can I do to add value that number one, no one wants to do, or number two, no one's willing to do. Now, that's my mind frame. So I don't mind pouring into even a competitor. Because I believe you gotta realize, like, any success or failure, it doesn't come from us, it comes from above. And you have to realize when you are serving more, you're actually earning more long term. And it's a book I got, it's called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And it said, poor people have a mindset of having one or the other. And it said, wealthy people have a mindset of having both, right? So I believe, hey, I can pour into someone that's a competitor, but also be able to feed my family as well long term as well too, right? So I believe in just abundance and that mindset, and just seeing, like you were saying, what area can you excel in that may differentiate yourself too.
Appreciate that. Good answers. Good answers.
Any more questions, anybody?
Okay. I have a question. This is for anyone on the panel. So, what would you say are some of the non-negotiables that you have for building a profitable business in each of your industries? Non-negotiables.
Non-negotiable for me, I'm not gonna do anything. This might sound crazy, but I'm not gonna do anything cheap. I'm not gonna put out a product that I don't like. Everything that I put and I present to the world, I know that to quality is, you can compare it to something nice. It's not gonna say, oh yeah, I'm not gonna be able to wear that next year. No, I want what you associate to me, my brand and my name has to be sustainable. So my non-negotiable is, I'm not gonna do anything beneath my name or my brand. That's number one.
In our business, right, is 3 things that if I'm not doing these 3 things each day, it's not a good day. And so for me, number 1 is prospects. Right, so I have to find new individuals to connect with, build relationships with, and overall see how I can add value and serve them. Right, number 2 is calls. Right, I have to make phone calls. Whether people answer, they don't answer, but the same person may not been answering maybe 2 weeks in a row, 3 weeks in a row. I have to make phone calls in our business, right? And number 3, run appointments. Right, I have to be serving clients, showing them what we do, how we serve clients, and talking about my crusade for the business. Right, so if I'm not making a phone call, running an appointment, or generating a new client or prospect, then I'm not focused on income producing activities. Right, so whatever it is, even in life insurance or even with his business, right? What are some of the things that's going to produce a result? And if we're not doing those things each day, we're probably not moving the needle forward. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. And non-negotiable for me is things that are discussed and what the expectations are. You can't go outside of those expectations. If you say we're doing this service and you're expecting this from me, you cannot come to me and say that, oh, I wanted this instead. It's like, no, that's non-negotiable for me. What you ask for, what you get, and what you plan for is what you receive. So anything outside of that, I can't allow that, because what that does, it creates, unpleasant conversation. It creates, high expectations versus low expectations. It creates, a lot of unpleasant conversations. And I'd rather stick to what you ask for, what you get. And if you want something else, then that has to be discussed, not out of the blue. And I think a lot of times in entrepreneurship, we have clients that just come out of nowhere with requests that's not what we planned. So that's a non-negotiable. Cool. All right, any other questions? All right, guys, if that's it, that wraps it up for today.
You got any more food left? Yeah, I do need some of them crab cake. Some. They're not already made chicken.
No, they are. But I think they rushed them. So, yeah. Wow. He's like actually making them.
That's my target.
All right, let's go get a drink. Let's go get a drink.
All right. You did just